Hello, welcome everyone. It's me again, Sciortino of SEA Junction, a public venue here in Bangkok that focuses on Southeast Asia. This is the 38th episode of a series on what is happening in Myanmar. We have started this series soon after the coup to bring attention to what was happening in our neighboring country. And since then, we have tried to continue to give information to a general public about what is happening. So we do this bi-weekly first and then monthly updates with different experts and people that can give us and explain to us what is happening. Also to keep Myanmar on the map. With so many conflicts in the world, it's very easy to forget those that are closer to us in a certain sense. But this we don't want to happen. And we are lucky today to have a very expert person, Assistant Professor Lalita Hanwong. She is teaching at Kasetsart University. She has done research on many topics. I am also aware she focused on African migrants and other interests on African history, etc. But she's also very knowledgeable of the situation in Myanmar. She writes column on this topic and is also asked for advice by the Thai government. So Lalita, welcome. This is the first time we have a Thai expert talking, but the importance of Thailand is recognized because not only for the issue of Myanmar people that more and more come to live in Thailand, but also in terms of addressing cross-border crime like we are hearing these days. So we look forward to hear more from you. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for inviting me to this event. I am by no means the expert on well, I would say that I had a PhD on Myanmar, on colonial Burma, Myanmar, but I don't really like to say that I'm an expert on anything. So for you guys, audience, if you have anything to share with me, I would really love it. And because I'm a Thai citizen, what I'm going to talk about today, what I am going to discuss with you today will be mainly on Thailand. Actually, I have prepared three main topics of today, because these topics now has been under the spotlight in the Thai media for quite a while, and many of you have already known that this week, the highlight of this month and this week actually is the war in northern Shan state, and the situation has deteriorated, and now in the Thai media they have reported quite extensively on maybe around 160 Thai citizens who are now trapped in Myanmar, in one of these towns in northern Shan state, in one of the casinos, in some of these casinos and some of these buildings that belong to Chinese fraudsters. So I'll be reporting on that as well. And the final topic I'd like to talk about is maybe just a bit of my reflection on the scam business that still continues to these days, and how the Thai government and the Thai public can help to get rid of this business, something that has affected our lives quite a lot during the last couple of years. So without further ado, let me give you a bit of an overview. I presume that not everybody who is listening to this discussion right now is from Myanmar. So during the last couple of weeks, there has been extensive fighting between the Tatmadaw, or the Myanmar army, and the three ethnic groups, the three armies in northern Shan states, namely TNLA. This belongs to the Taang, and MNDAA of the Kokang, and AA or the Arakan army. I find this alliance, which is called Three Brotherhood Alliance, pretty interesting. And there are different layers that I would like to discuss today. But I think this topic of war in northern Shan state, I'm not really going to put so much detail and effort into this because it's always on the news and you can always follow what's going on. But let me clarify a little bit. During the last week, there has been something that's known as Operation 1027. And it was the biggest fighting, the biggest offensive by this Three Brotherhood Alliance against the Myanmar army in northern Shan state. So why is it relating to Thailand? Why is it under discussion in the Thai media everywhere now? Because many of you have already known that in northern Shan states, there are some towns and some cities, and there are some casinos. There are some places where, well, I don't know exactly how to call them, but some would say that there are factories. And in these factories, in these buildings, there are some Thai workers, different types of Thai workers in there. Some are people who were dragged into this, people who were lured into this. They didn't really know what to expect. They saw an ad somewhere and they just decided that they wanted this job. So they applied for this job and they ended up on the other side of the Thai border in Shan state. Some of them were raped. Some of them are facing very difficult situation right now. Some of them were tortured. Some of them went to one of these casinos and they were in debt, so they were tortured. They didn't have so much money to pay for the debt and so on. So for different reasons, some 160 Thai citizens remained in this area in northern Shan state. Okay, so what the Thai media is now talking about is how do we bring these Thai citizens back to Thailand, because now it's pretty much impossible. Well, it's impossible at all for these Thai citizens to stay in this larger city in this area called Lao Cai, and because they cannot really get out, because around Lao Cai and this neighborhood in this whole area, there's a lot of fighting going on. So basically what the Thai media says is that some dozens of Thai citizens are now trapped or being held captive by the war in Lao Cai and the vicinity. So I actually like to show you a picture, what just happened yesterday or the day after. Maybe I can try to let me try to share. Okay, share my screen with my PowerPoint. Okay, so you can see that on the 7th of November, which is just yesterday, the police general that you can see in the middle here is quite a big guy in Thailand. He was one of the most well-known candidates for the head of police, the director general of police of the Thai police. But eventually this year he didn't become the police head. But anyways, he's a big guy. He's one of the most popular cops in Thailand. His name is General Surachet Hakpan, or everybody in Thailand calls him Big Joke because his nickname is Joke. And Thai people have this habit of calling army officers, police officers big. I don't know how big they are, but if they become generals, you know, there are big anyway, big joke, big dang, or some other bigs. Anyways, yesterday I find this very interesting because General Surachet Hakpan, or Big Joke, he went to meet with Umamongthan, the Minister of Social Welfare Relief and Resettlement of Myanmar. So, of course, the discussion was predominantly about how to bring this 100. Well, I'm not sure about the exact number, and I think that the police now have the exact number, but I would say roughly around 133 Thai people, Thai citizens, Thai workers who were in Lao Cai and the vicinity, and they were, well, rescued by the Myanmar army, and they're now somewhere. I'm not sure if they are that safe, because the latest news has been reported that these Thai citizens are now kept in one of the buildings that belongs to the Myanmar army. Of course, it's not very safe, because as long as you stay in one of these facilities that belongs to the army, the Myanmar army, chances are that the building, the facility, can be attacked by one of these ethnic groups, ethnic armies, right? So the most urgent tasks of the Thai government and the Thai police or the immigration or other people involved is to bring these Thai citizens back to Thailand as soon as possible. I believe that there was a discussion on this also on the Myanmar authority, the Myanmar government should not prosecute these Thai workers who overstayed or they went into Myanmar illegally and things like that, you know. So this discussion was brought into the spotlight yesterday as well. So what's going to happen now is there are also some other Thai citizens who are still in Lao Cai. And like I said before, they are still in one of these buildings, these casinos, and they don't really know how to get back. You know, some of them are still in debt. Some of them don't have means to get out, and they are endangered because this area is now surrounded by ethnic armies, and the fighting is still going on. So, yeah, I think this week. I forgot to tell you that I am also one of the advisors of the Thai Parliament on border affairs and security. I don't know exactly what the exact translation is, but it's more or less on border affairs. I'm pretty new here. I just went to the Parliament for the first time last week, but last week they didn't really discuss much on Myanmar. But I believe that this week the urgent matter is on rescuing Thai workers from Myanmar and bring them back to Thailand as soon as possible. I think that that's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen now. As I said before, there are some other nationalities rather than Thais as well. So I really hope that the Thai government, the Thai police, through their personal connections, they can try to help other nationalities who are now facing very difficult hardships in northern Shan states back to their country as well. Now, I try to ask a few people why Big Joke or General Surachet has to take this leading role in discussing or negotiating with the Myanmar authority. And the answer is, I'm not sure if I can share with you fully here, but I think you can guess. The police, a lot of police officers in Thailand, they have very good connection, very close personal connection with Myanmar authority. Maybe you have heard that in the past, well, even now, Myanmar generals, Myanmar army officers have very good, very friendly personal connections with army officials in Thailand. And because the Thai police can be very powerful along the border, towns along the border, like in Mae Sot, in Tak province, Mae Sai, Mae Sariang, or some other towns, police officers who are responsible for these towns can be very big. Yeah, because border trade is something that's always a very important matter for Thai policemen. Yeah, so that's how things is developing, and I don't know what's going on exactly today. Maybe the parliament will report to us tomorrow how this event has unfolded. But at least this big police officer has met with the Myanmar officer, but I don't think it's enough. Because the Myanmar army, they cannot even control the northern Shan state. Yeah. So in order to bring all the Thai citizens back to Thailand, of course, negotiation with other groups of people, especially ethnic armies, and maybe some Chinese businessmen in the area, have to be taken into consideration as well. I talked to some people today, and I think the matter in Northern Shan State right now is extremely complicated. I mean, I have been looking at this kind of complication, civil war in Southeast Asia and beyond, but I have never seen any case that is so complicated and so messy like in Northern Shan State right now. I give you a bit of an example. So basically, in this part of Shan State, in Northern Shan State, because it's a border between Myanmar and China, it's a bit like a bubble, one of my friends told me that you can kind of compare it with an egg yolk, an egg white. Let's say that the Kokang area, the Wa area, these are an egg yolk, and it's surrounded by some other ethnic groups around the egg yolk. It's also surrounded by the Myanmar army. Yeah, so they have their own ways, they have their own business, they have their own influence in these areas, but at the same time, it's getting very difficult now, because I don't know, the war is going on. This big offensive just happened this week, and yeah, because of so much profit that the Chinese have in this part of Northern Shan State, there are a few major towns in this part of Shan State that have some facilities, some projects, some developments from the Chinese part. And I'm quite surprised that the Chinese was pretty quick in responding to this offensive. Maybe yesterday or the other day, the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of China, he even said that, oh, please, ethnic groups, ethnic armies, please have a talk to each other, please have a talk to the Myanmar army, please do not use violence, and so on. It's pretty clear that the Chinese are alarmed of this violence, and they know that this fighting can greatly affect their projects in Northern Shan State. Yeah, so it's a very complicated matter. And from the Thai side, now, okay, another topic that I can talk about, well, I don't like to talk about it, but I will try to reflect upon it, is that because the Thai government, especially the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, during the last 8 or 9 years under the Prayut's administration, they didn't really have a clear-cut policy on Myanmar at all. So what happens now is, because there is no direction, what to do about Myanmar or how to tackle this situation, they don't really know what to do. I do hope that now that we have a new government, they will try to be more practical. They will try to bring Thailand back into the international scene, saying things like, we are not supporting the coup. We are not supporting the Myanmar generals anymore under this administration. But I doubt it very much because at the end of the day, this government has been heavily criticized, that they're not that different from the previous government. Yeah. So yeah, regarding the stance of the Thai government right now, my personal view is that we can't really expect so much from them. Yeah. I think that's it. So that's all I really have to say now. Questions, reflections, discussions are more welcome.
Okay, so we have already a number of questions, but maybe first let's close the PowerPoint.
Yeah.
So, yes. Okay,
how do I do it?
Okay, done. Yes. Okay, so now we have this question, actually already quite a lot. So the first question is, what support can asylum seekers on the Thai border expect from the new government? I will read a couple and then you can comment, and then we will do a second round of questions. So the first refer to the situation of many people seeking refuge in Thailand, and that particularly are in Mysore, another place on the border. So what can be expected? As you say, the Prayut government had different or no policy toward Myanmar, but what can we expect now from the new government? Then the second question is, who is the Thai MP most concerned with the plight of the Burmese, especially refugees? So if from your observation of the various MPs in parliament, who would be the most concerned? So maybe we start with these two questions and then we have a few more for later on.
Okay, regarding the Thai government, this present government stance on Myanmar, like I said before, my expectation is quite low. I had a discussion with a Japanese professor on Thai democratization last night, and we all agreed that this government is not that dependent. They're not that independent. Yeah, they have their own agendas. And we all know that the Pheu Thai-led government, any government at all, they always want to emphasize more on the economic perspectives of things. And just look at the name of the Minister of Foreign Affairs now. He's not an expert on foreign affairs or international affairs whatsoever. He's actually an economist. He could have been the Minister of Finance or the Ministry of Commerce or something, but he's now the Minister of Foreign Affairs, which shows very clearly actually that the Pheu Thai government now doesn't take foreign affairs very seriously. Yeah, that's the first thing I wanted to say. And another aspect I can share with you is that right now in Thailand there is an emerging debate on how the government should dissolve an organization that's called Internal Security Operations Command, or ISOC. In Thai, we call it GORMN. Yeah, they have been in operation very actively since Thaksin's administration 20 years ago. And now they still exist. And there are proposals by scholars and experts that this organization, this body, should be dissolved because they can be quite suppressive, and a lot of work that they do overlap greatly with what the Ministry of Defense does. But anyways, coming back to the question, the Thai government, this present Thai government and their policy on asylum seekers, immigrants, refugees, asylum seekers, whatnot from Myanmar, will be more or less the same as Prayut's administration, Prayut's government, because I don't think that they see this as their priority. Even if the war has escalated, even if there are more tens of thousands of Myanmar refugees coming to Thailand, I don't think that the policy will significantly change under Seth's government. And I think the second question is somebody is asking who is the Thai MP who is very interested and very active.
Most interested, yeah. The most interested. If there is anyone interested that you can see.
Okay, there is one MP called Kannawi Seupsang. Yeah, Mr. Kannawi, he works with UNHCR in Myanmar before. He worked in the Philippines, in Myanmar, I believe in somewhere in Africa as well. And he's very much into the issue of refugees. Yeah, and anything that touches upon Myanmar or refugees, Kun Kannawi normally raises this up in the parliament. But this is like, I don't think that Kannawi himself can do much because you know, there is only one person who has so much experience with working with UNHCR or any humanitarian aid work. But we have to work as a team. Like I said before, I'm now part of the Committee of Border Affairs, and of course, I will try to put more efforts into you know, bringing these topics of helping Myanmar refugees and asylum seekers. I know that a lot of law in Thailand regarding this is pretty bad. It's not pretty bad, it's very, very bad. And I've heard lots of comments from some Burmese friends, some Myanmar friends, that it's draconian even, the Thai law on refugees. Do you know that actually in Thailand, we have two words for foreigners? I mean, a friend of mine told me that actually Thailand can really be a very, you know, the perspective of the Thai society, the Thai state over people coming from our neighboring countries can be pretty negative. Yeah, we don't really see Burmese or Myanmar workers as that equal, and we always call them ต่างด้าว rather than ต่างชาติ. You know, if you're someone from Europe, from the US, then you're ต่างชาติ คน ต่างชาติ means a foreign national or foreign person, right? But if you come from Myanmar, you come from Cambodia, you come to work in Thailand, all of a sudden you become ต่างด้าว which is another term for foreign citizen or foreign, which we normally use for foreign workers, especially those who come from our neighboring countries. So yeah, to summarize the first question, my view is it's not going to change much under this government. Now we are raising this question, how long this government will last. Some people think that they will last forever, at least for 8 years. Some people even say that there is a possibility of the next coup. which shocked me a little bit because I thought that coup is finished in Thailand, but no. A friend of mine from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs told me that there is still a possibility of coup d'etat. Yeah, and the second question, I would say the if you ask me about an individual who is most active about Myanmar refugees, it has to be Kun Kanawi Seupsang. He's an MP. He's a party list MP from a party called Pentam, and he is the only Pentam MP that is in the parliament.
So yes, we have met him on some of our event at SEA Junction, and he's indeed very prepared and committed, but unfortunately, yes, his party is very small at the moment, although he often allies with the Move Forward parties. But I will go to the question again, and well, there was some positive, which I think you already answered in a very negative sense, but the question I will still pose it is about, it seems that the Thai government is interested to give asylum seeker temporary permission to work. So this is a more optimistic view that you have. So the one posing the question thinks that there is some interest to give asylum seekers temporary permission to work. Many of the asylum seekers are educated middle class who can contribute a lot to the economy through job creation and tax. What do you think? So this is one question I think is related to what you have said, and probably you don't share this optimism. But the other question is more about the fighting. The fighting will be intense more in the coming days in Lokai. So it's expected by the Three Brother Alliance that they will intensify their fight. So why is Thailand government official dealing with the military for taking out their citizen rather than talking with the Three Brother Alliance? That is a question. And actually, I want to add, the Irrawaddy actually reported that some of these workers are kept captive by the Myanmar military as negotiation to have negotiation. So they are hostage. So this is according to the Irrawaddy news. So this I want to add again, what is your perception of that, related also to this question of the alliance that you are posing? Last question is about, could you please inform Parliament? So this is the expectation that you can inform Parliament to provide an humanitarian corridor, since some ethnic armed groups controlled along my Sound area announced 11/27 operation yesterday, and there may be many people need to flee their homes in the coming days. So this is more for you to inform eventually, if you have an occasion, to propose a corridor in the area of my own song, because there may be some operation. So that is another common question, but maybe we can start with the first one, referring to whether you think that the Thai government is interested in giving a possibility to work to the high-skilled refugees from Myanmar, many of them from the CDM and other positions, so they are quite educated and background of work, can contribute to the Thai economy.
You know, it's funny here. Many years ago, I remember that there was this craze for ASEAN and EIC or something, you know, that, you know, one day ASEAN will be one, that one day everybody from every nationality in ASEAN countries can go and work in another country freely. And the Thai government tries so hard to propagate this point that, hey, one day Thai workers can go and work in Indonesia, we can go and work in the Philippines with no obstruction whatsoever. But now when we try to talk about giving permission to Myanmar citizens who seek asylum in Thailand, who have to be here, you know, I'm pretty sure that not all of them want to live here or want to come here in the first place, but because of the war, because of the suppression on the Myanmar side, there are different reasons why they have to be here. I'm not really in a position to say if the Thai government can give temporary permission to for these Myanmar middle class or, you know, lower class or higher class to work. But for me, it's very important for these people who come to a new country to be able to work or support themselves. I remember what Rangsiman Rome told me last week, that, you know, this kind of committee of border affairs, which is now, well, it basically consists of MPs and experts and some advisors like me. There is another advisor who is a specialist on democratization and army reform and all that. Is to bring in experts and people who care about this issue. You know, normally people who work under the last administration, they didn't care so much about border affairs. There might have been some army generals, there might have been some immigration officers, but they don't care so much about this issue because they have never really studied, they have never done their research and so on. So my view and my take on this, if you ask me my personal opinion, of course I would support these Myanmar citizens or Lao or Cambodian citizens who want to seek asylum in Thailand to work, to have means to support themselves and their families. But okay, I'm already writing it down. So tomorrow, when I have a chance of talking, I will be proposing that this is something that should be done, even if it's temporary. And yeah, I think under Rangsiman Rome, what he tries to do is to try to push forward, well, basically to bring the Thai bureaucracy out of the comfort zone. You know, the problem with Thailand, in my opinion, is that this country has been in this box for decades and it has never changed. You know, the uniform of teachers has never changed since the 30s. Yeah, so it's always been the same. And because every government, the previous governments, they didn't care so much about changing or reforming things. So now, because we have more young people working for us in the parliament, these MPs are very dynamic and very young and very open-minded. I think that there is a good possibility that we can try to, to move this agenda forward, that, hey, we have people who are facing hardships here and they come to Thailand, they don't want to be here for free. They want to work and they want to help our economy to grow. I think this can be done. It's, it just has to be prepared. A document has to be prepared and it has to be discussed more fully in the parliament. But I think it can be done. From my end, and tomorrow I will try to talk to Rangsiman Rome about this. Now
about the three brothers. The three brothers, why is the Thai government talking with the military instead of the three brothers?
I don't understand it either. I think the reason why Surachet met with the Ministry of Social Welfare is pretty simple. It's because they already know each other. Surachet already knows a lot of people in this Myanmar government, in the army or in the police. And I think that he just finds it very convenient to have photographs with them, trying to tell the Thai media that, hey, I'm trying to solve this problem for you. And I think that's it. I think if the Thai government or someone who represents the Thai government begins to talk or negotiate with anybody from the Three Brotherhood, then there would be a big problem, because they would have to ask the Myanmar generals what, the Myanmar generals would be pretty angry, would be pretty anxious why the Thai government talks with the Three Brotherhood. In Prayut's administration, I don't remember Prayut or Don Paramatvinay, the former Minister of Foreign Affairs, talk to anybody from NUG whatsoever. Maybe they did, but I don't think that they took an NUG or any EAO very seriously whatsoever. All they try to do, because these army officers, these generals, these police officers, they have very good connection with their Myanmar friends and colleagues. So all they do is to try to secure their personal connection and their personal benefits. And that's how Thai bureaucracy and Thai Myanmar connections, which is pretty much the same, that's how it works. I would highly recommend the Thai government to start contact these Three Brotherhood Alliance, but trust me, it's a very difficult thing. I think the first question or the first suggestion to give temporary permission to work to Myanmar middle class or whoever, it's doable. But if you talk about this second question, I think the Thai government should do it, but I don't think that they will do it, because they would find it problematic, controversial, and troublesome for their own benefit, for their own connections.
Okay, so in reference to the Irrawaddy news that some of this Thai actually can be held by the military themselves, by the Myanmar military themselves, to put pressure on Thailand or to negotiate with Thailand. What you think of that news?
Sorry, what news again?
That some of these Thai, actually, they are kind of held hostage by the military themselves.
Okay.
So they are, like you say, they are in a space, yeah? I mean, they are kept in this place, but it's not to protect them, but more really to eventually negotiate with the Thai government for ransom or for other privileges.
I think that might be true, but if you're asking me, I would say that these Thai captives are held in this Myanmar army facility because the Myanmar army wants, they just want to tell this brotherhood that, hey, we have Thai citizens here. You don't want to mess with us here because we have like 133 Thai nationals here. If you attack us, you attack them, and it would be a very big problem for you guys, for the brotherhood. Yeah. So in a way, it's quite a smart tactic, I would say, that the Myanmar army actually uses these Thai citizens, these 133 citizens, as captives. Yeah, it's not exactly the brotherhood, but it's actually the Myanmar army that is holding these Thai citizens captive. So yeah, I agree with the report.
It was very interesting. Okay, the last question that was posed already about the corridor. What you think about, I mean, it's more whether you can indeed advocate for such an humanitarian corridor. So far, Thailand has not done any humanitarian corridor to Myanmar. But the question is whether, I mean, here the worry is for an announced operation that may occur in that area of Mae Hong Son, near on the border, and may push people to run, and then there is no humanitarian corridor ready for that.
Yeah, I heard Kun Kanawi talking about humanitarian corridor many times before, and I believe that he said it in the parliament many times also, and nothing has been done yet on this matter. A friend of mine, he works at the Ministry of Interior, specifically on Myanmar refugees, on refugees in general, but most of them are from Myanmar anyways. And he sent me a document. He told me many times before that Thailand tries so hard to. So basically, Thailand doesn't want to be portrayed as a place where refugees can come. Okay, so in the perspective of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs or the Ministry of Interior, they have specific words that they call refugees. They're not exactly refugees, but they are displaced people or people who fled war from their homeland and things like that. I believe that there are 3 categories, if I remember it correctly. Internally displaced persons from Myanmar, people who fled war, and another thing I don't remember, but there is no such thing as refugee in the perspective, in the official document of the Thai government. Because if you talk about refugees, yeah, it brings you a lot of commitment, physical, virtual commitments, because you know, if you accept that there are hundreds of thousands of refugees in your country, it means that you have to take care of them. It means that you have to provide accommodation and whatnot, education, healthcare system for these refugees. Yeah, in my view, the most sustainable way for refugees coming into Thailand is to start this assimilation scheme. But unfortunately, in Thailand, in the mindset of the Thai government officials, it's not really the case. I think that if we can try to assimilate Myanmar nationals into the Thai system, you know, kids, Myanmar kids that were born in Thailand, they should be Thai nationals too. But I have some friends, some junior friends who were born in Myanmar. Sorry, they were born in Thailand, but when they were like 20, 22, they struggled very hard to get a Thai passport, to get Thai citizenship. Some of them cannot get that, you know, some of them eventually had to go back to Myanmar because they finally they couldn't get Thai citizenship, even if they speak Thai fluently, even if they were born here, even if they went to Thai school, you know. Again, this policy has to be raised in the parliament. If they don't care about it, we have to raise it again and again until they realize that this is something that really affects lives of hundreds of thousands of people.
Yeah, so there was a question referring to yesterday, there was a commission, I am not sure what commission, but at Parliament, I suppose, that met to contain sustainable solution to irregular migration. And like you are talking now, assimilation could be one of those sustainable solutions. But like you say, it needs to be reminded over and over again. Unfortunately, up to now, even people like me with all the benefits of my position who have lived in Thailand for over 25 years, it's very difficult to get a permanent residency or other more sustainable way. And I think many are in that position, but of course I am still among the fortunate people. But to the last comments from someone here in Zoom, perhaps if the Thai paid to live like the Chinese did, this referring to the people held captives, if the Thai would be willing to pay like the Chinese did, they may evacuate. They may be able to evacuate. So do you think that payment, like we said, I mean, these people may be held by the military. So if someone pay for them to let him go, would that be the solution, or it's not a realistic solution also because of the conflict with the three brothers and at the moment control that area?
I think Thai citizens in Laogai have to be seen differently from the Chinese. I think that the Chinese who went to Northern Shan State, they were business people. They were people who already worked there. You know, they were probably sent by the Chinese government and so on. And actually, there was a big scandal of Chinese citizens. If I'm not mistaken, 14 or 15 of them were already kidnapped in that area. You know, one of them even died from this ransom whatnot. But I don't think that with Thai workers or Thai citizens living in Laogai, the Brotherhood or whoever that's holding them captive want money from them or from the Thai government. I think that they can be released, not that easily, but it has to be through a very careful step of negotiation. And I think that the Thai government has to be very careful here. And I wish my government would have more courage to advance talk with some other people rather than the Myanmar military, because like some of the audience have noticed before, why on earth the Thai government has to talk with the Myanmar military, right? They should start talking with the Brotherhood. They should start talking with other stakeholders that can actually make a big change here. But yeah, sadly, I don't know, but my view is that the Thai military and the Thai police, they're always in that comfort zone, and they don't feel that comfortable to start a talk or a conversation with the three Brotherhood, because remember that the Myanmar army, they always call these people terrorist organization, you know, people who threaten the stability of Myanmar nation and so on. So I just don't think that the Thai official or the Thai government per se would like to break this bond with the Burmese generals. But you never know. Tomorrow, we will have a serious discussion about this. And if you don't mind, can you send me in the chat box or my email the last question about the humanitarian corridor and the names of...
Yes. We are going to send it to you as soon as finished. Well, it went very fast. This has been a different perspective than the usual, because it is really seen from the side of Thailand, but I find that myself very interesting, and indeed there is a need to put the spot also on this inter-country bilateral relation and the intricacy of that. We hope to continue with Lalita. The plan is, if all goes well, we still have to discuss with Lalita, but we are planning to continue in one Thai and one Myanmar and one Thai, one Myanmar, so that we get both perspectives on the table. And I think you all find it quite interesting from the question that have been posed and the interest. So thank you very much to the participant. And as I say, this is being broadcast also by Mizima, our partner. And we also, so you can watch it later on or tell your friend to watch it as a reference. We wish you luck tomorrow with this committee. We hope you can bring some of your idea out of the box idea and bring some change. We know change takes a long time, but at the least it's good that someone is making the effort. So good luck tomorrow, and hope to see you in the next, if not the next episode of our updates. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.